Alright, here's my zipper I'm going to use. Before I do the zipper, I'm going to trim up the edges. See how it's not quite even here? So I'm just going to trim up the edges, make sure everything is lined up real good before I move on to the next step. Okay, so on one short end, we're going to attach the zipper. So this zipper, this is the right side, this is the wrong side. We're going to go right sides together. So we're going to flip this way. The edges are going to be even, not uneven. Edges are going to be even. And we're going to open up the zipper, start it down at this end, sew it all the way down. The extra will be down at this end. We'll pin and then sew with the zipper foot. So we put on the zipper foot, and when you put on your zipper foot, there are actually two choices. You can attach it to this side or you can attach it to that side. You can't attach it to the middle. But when you're sewing on a zipper, you want it to match up with the zipper this way. You don't want it to be this way, or the zipper foot will be uneven. So you attach it to this side, and then it'll show up with the zipper that way. Alright, so this is sewn, and when you sew it, you want to stay the same amount away from the edge so that your zipper, the same amount of your zipper is showing all the way across. So I did a pretty good job, a little narrower over here than here, but it's okay. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change the foot back to my regular foot, and I'm going to finish this edge with a zigzag. So I put this on 4, between the 2 and the 1, and zigzag stitch. Alright, zigzag. Now I'm going to turn this back, and I'm going to top stitch right along here. I want to catch this flap here. I want to hold it to the back. So I'm going to top stitch along here with a straight stitch and go back to 0, stitch length, 2, straight. I'm going to come back and top stitch this. Okay, so one side is complete. You can also press that. Alright, now we have to do the other side. So to do that, I'm going to close up the zipper. I'm going to find my marking pin on this side. The fabric is here, so I'm going to go directly across, and that's where I'm going to line up the fabric for the other side. So it should line up right there, and it should line up right there. Okay? So you take this and pull it up, match it up, and you're going to pin it into place. this side doesn't match up quite right, so I'm actually going to redo this to let that match up better. Alright, so I pinned it into place and the edges are even, so that's good. So now I'm going to put the zipper foot back on and I'm going to sew down on this side all the way down. When I get to here, I'm probably going to bump up against this piece, so I'm going to get it out of the way by unzipping now.
So on Fridays
Okay, so I got it unzipped, and I'm gonna sew this together. Then I'm gonna switch back to the regular foot and do a zigzag, and then I'm gonna flip it this way and do my top stitching. Okay, so now this side is top stitched, as well as this one. And I'm going to close up the zipper and make sure it matches up. So the sides match up good. Let's see what it looks like inside out. Nice. These match up pretty good. That's good. All right, great. All right, so we have our pouch, zipper pouch. It's a tube right now. The zipper is the center top, and we need to find the center bottom. So we're going to fold the zipper in half and then smooth it out. Come down here and then mark the center bottom. Do the same for the other side. Mark center bottom. And that way we'll match up the center bottom with the center top when we sew the sides together. Next is, for this next part, you're going to need to leave the zipper open, but we want to keep these two together. So we're going to get a thread and needle, pull this down just a touch so that you can see how they're supposed to be, and we're going to sew this top part together. If you don't sew them together, they have a tendency to come apart and leave a gap right there. So we're going to match up center bottom with center top, pin, and then we're going to sew across with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, okay? And very important, our zipper is open. This is the hole through which you're going to flip your bag out so the right side is facing out later on, okay? So zipper open. All right, our center bottom is matched up with our center top, and we've pinned across on both sides. Our zipper is open. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I have the machine set at 0, 3, and straight. So here goes. Okay, there it is. And if you want to look inside to double check that you didn't mess anything up, you can turn that out and make sure you don't have any raw edges showing along that seam. But mine looks good. And other side. On this bit, I like to sew with the zipper facing up in case my zipper is metal or these metal zipper stops at the top. I don't want to hit them with my needle. So when I get to that part, I'm going to just use my hand wheel to make this go forward so that if I hit anything, I can stop easily and my needle won't break. Then I can take my knot fabric scissors and cut off the extra bit at the top and bottom. All right, now we're going to cut the corners. All right, so we're going to cut out some squares at each corner so we can box out these corners, okay? And for this size bag, we're going to use 1 1/4 inch. So you can see this line there is 1, and then there's a line there, that's 1/4. So I'm going to move up my slider to the 1/4 so it's easier for me to see. I measure in from the side and mark there and down, mark there. And when I measure going from this side, I'm not going to start from the raw edge of the fabric. I'm going to start from my stitching line, okay? I'm going to mark there and the edge. So then I can fill in, finish filling in to make these straight lines so I can see them. Okay? And mark another one. All right, now we have each of these marked. So now we cut. And be very exact about this. You can't cut more than you're supposed to. Cut right along the line. Don't cut more either way, okay? This corner, if you want your zipper pouch to look nice and even, these corners are very, very important. You'll want a good pair of scissors for this part because the fabric's pretty thick. All right, and before I forget, I'm going to finish this edge with a zigzag like we did before. I'm going to do length, width 4, length between the 2 and the 1, and zigzag. Alright, we're going to set this aside for a second. We're going to work on our handles. So first you fold the handles in half and press. So after it's pressed in half, we're going to open it up, take the edge, put it towards the center, press that, and then same with the other side. So these meet in the middle. You don't want them to overlap. You just want them to be right beside each other. And then you refold. And then we'll take it to the sewing machine and we'll sew down that side and that side.
Don't talk jokes. Don't talk to each other. You're the guard. Do not say one more word and don't talk again. Okay, Tony, so that's to me, but if you want to go to
Oop, I left it in zigzag.
that is big.
We don't need that. All right, try again. All right, so we are gonna, this is one side of this box. This is the other side. So we're gonna mark right on the edge,
Then
and that is how we'll match up this side with this seam. And we're gonna flip that down. So that's how it's gonna go, sewn together. We're also gonna take one of our handles and slip it inside.
I'm still tired right now. You can do that until
So all those things have to be centered up and straight with each other. Okay, and we'll sew that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. For the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark the edge here, like that. And then we find our handle. It needs to come up here. And then match that mark with your seam over here. And this seam allowance will fold down like that. And all of this will be even. If you have to stick your hand in and straighten out the fabric on the inside, you can do that. Okay, I've got the first two corners boxed, and the handle is connected to each side. So now I'll sew 1/4 inch seam allowance, straight stitch. Okay, so both corners are stitched. Now I'm going to go back with a zigzag. Other side. Okay, so one end is complete, all finished. Awesome. All right, so all 4 corners are finished. Zigzag finish on this end. Now for the exciting part, turn it right side out. Let's see what we got. And push all your corners out. And close up your zipper. And you're done.